Another focus of schools right now, suicide prevention. Suicide is the second leading cause of death for young people between the ages of 10 and 24. Noting this, the California legislature passed a new law in 2019 that provides funds for suicide prevention training for staff and students. The online training is provided by LivingWorks and made free to districts throughout California through a partnership with the San Diego County Office of Education. It's a 90-minute online training geared to staff and students in middle and high school.
Suicide is when pain overrides hope. So in all that we do with our young people and our educators is really, we need to instill hope in everything we do with youth. Everything we talk about needs to have elements of hope and positivity.
Heather Nemore is part of the team leading the effort and says it comes at a crucial time.
Pre-COVID, mental health was one of the biggest challenges that we were seeing among our students. And so anxiety, depression, suicide ideation, we're all very much on the radar for being a genuine concern for students being able to come to school and learn. Now that we're in COVID, one of the silver linings is that mental health has really risen to the top for all schools.
This clip from the online suicide prevention training demonstrates what it might look like if you have a student who is fidgety, unable to concentrate, and disengaging from regular activities. All signs he might be troubled.
What's up? Are you okay?
Yeah, no, I'm not feeling very good. I think I should go home.
Another headache? You had one last week.
I just can't concentrate. I really appreciate everything you've done for me. You've been really patient. Most people aren't. They just get frustrated and they give up. Anyway, I should go. Bye.
The training helps people react appropriately when they suspect someone might be suicidal.
What you learn in Living Works Start is if you're worried about suicide, you have to ask specifically about suicide. And so that's what we encourage teachers to do as well. Other warning signs that are a little bit more difficult perhaps to interpret are things like significant changes in behavior for students going from an A student to a C or a D student, or a really gregarious, outgoing student to a quiet, isolated student, or a non-risk-taking student who all of a sudden is taking all kinds of risks.
He also identified 4 groups as being at higher risk, including students who have lost a loved one to suicide, students with disabilities, mental health, or substance abuse disorders, those experiencing homelessness or in foster care, and young people who identify as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or questioning. But even for those outside of those groups, there's so much added pressure right now.
It's creating a lot of isolation, disconnection from others, a disruption in their routines that they had. And then there are the students that are in home environments that are not fully positive or fully supportive. And so now they are suddenly in homes 24/7 where they might be experiencing domestic violence or other kinds of challenges.
The suicide prevention training also provides tools for students who may notice warning signs on social media or through texting.
You want a game? Zen and I are on and need a third. We're getting killed.
Don't really feel like it. Just wanted to say bye.
You're going offline for a bit?
Yeah, I guess. Thank you.
For what?
You were a good friend. Zen too. Bye.
Were? Why the past tense?
Students say these examples are eye-opening. Life is an 11th grader in Chula Vista who took the training.
It was really informative because it gave many different scenarios, and through videos, through text messages, real life and really realistic situations. So I think that going through those live simulations and being able to learn from those were really helpful, and it really helped me grow.
Life's training was part of a class taught by humanities teacher Andres Perez. He asked the students at the start of the 2020 school year what topic they most wanted to focus on. And their answer? Mental health.
Over and over again, students were telling me that they were more anxious than usual, feeling more depressed than usual. I had students asking to check in, which as a teacher is always something you're excited to hear about. But of course, when it's happening so much more often than usual, I knew right away something was up. And I thought that was just another sign that students just wanted someone to connect with.
In response, he designed a 6-week unit focused on mental health. It concluded with students creating projects that could be shared in the community. For her final project, Life held a socially distant event at a park with the goal of directing attention to the mental health needs of people of color.
It was a guided meditation, and it was around Black Lives Matter and Black brain health, the one that we played. And then we also had the singers perform, and we sold art from local artists around the community, and all of the proceeds went to the Black Mental Health Alliance. I come from a very diverse background, with my family being Black, white, Hispanic, all of that kind of stuff. So seeing it directly in my own community, it really makes me realize that there needs to be a change and there needs to be more improvements in that field.
Other students in the class created projects like awareness posters with QR codes that provided people with information on how to get help, and short films like this one created by 11th grader Carlos.
Say, for example, you see a dark, shadowy figure in your house at night. When our brains go into a state of panic, the amygdala, the part of the brain that controls emotions, wants us to get out of harm's way at all costs.
Carlos says the goal of his film is to educate others about anxiety.
Being in a constant state of anxiety because of COVID-19 and not knowing what's going to happen, how this is going to look like in a year or two, or not feeling in control is something that is very bad for us, because being in a state of anxiety for multiple months drains you and leaves you depressed, because anxiety, when it comes, it's there to give you a burst of energy and go into a fight or flight response. But being in a state of anxiety for several months, well, it kind of just drains all of your energy. So my aim for my short film was to kind of give one of the tactics that I learned about, that I researched, and that really helped me, which was to find small things that we are in control of and to just focus on those things.
Experts say Carlos's message is exactly right and can offer tips to everyone on how to best manage stress.
We're in such uncertain times. What is helpful to try to identify what are the things that I can control, because so much is out of our control right now. And so things that you can control, we tell them, are, what you eat every day. Are you taking frequent breaks? Are you moving your body? Are you practicing self-care? And, do you have a web of support? Do you have other people you can reach out to when you are feeling upset or stressed? Pretty much 97% of the time you can say, right now, right here, everything is okay.
Andres Perez says he's proud of the work his students put into their projects, but he remains concerned about the mental health impacts of remote learning amid this pandemic.
For students right now, so many are not turning in work because they are stressed, because they are focused on taking care of their family, because they just don't know how to, one, they're trying to exist during a pandemic. Two, they're trying to compartmentalize all these new emotions they've never experienced before. Three, they're just a teenager and they're dealing with those new emotions. And having school as a priority in that, where does it go? It definitely doesn't go first. And I understand that. I tell my students there are things that are so much more important than your schoolwork. At the same time, I want to make sure that they're not missing out on an opportunity to learn and to grow, so that they can go on to college, they can go on to fulfill their dreams for themselves and their family. So it is affecting their schoolwork, and that's something that's concerning for me. But I think that's why mental health is such a great unit to start the year with, because it's now a conversation that we've broached and that now we can always go back to. Anytime they're not getting their work turned in, my first question to them is always, well, have you been practicing your coping strategy? Have you been making sure to play the guitar? Have you been exercising like it's a goal of yours? Have you been connecting with friends and family? Because if you're not doing that, it's going to be a lot harder to get those other things completed.
Coping strategies are key to good mental health. For 11th grader Devry, she learned about journaling as a coping strategy in Mr. Perez's class.
And it's just a small activity that I like to do and write down how my day went, how I'm feeling, and just events that happened in the day. And it was a really good stress reliever for me. It just like gave me some time to slow down and just write down whatever was on my mind. And it was just super beneficial for me. And ever since I started doing that, I've just been feeling better about myself.
Did they give you other strategies besides journaling, other ideas that you can do to kind of center yourself?
Yeah, so it's different for every person, but some ideas are like dancing, like physical exercise. You can also do mindfulness and kind of just doing what you enjoy doing and what makes you feel relaxed. So like going outside, taking a walk, spending time with your pets, something that'll make you relaxed and help you cope with your emotions.
We always say we haven't done our job until people, can talk about mental health, and it's just as socially accepted as it is talking about physical health. And if somebody is sick, if somebody has cancer, we go help them. We bring them food. We call and check on them. But if somebody has a mental health challenge, we other them. Like it's those other people, not us. But we all have mental health challenges. We all have mental health.
My students have just surprised me over and over again with how willing they are to share their own struggles, whether they're currently in therapy, whether they're currently feeling anxious or feeling depressed. So I hope more teachers and more students are willing to broach this topic that sometimes we may feel a little bit awkward broaching into, but I promise that so many students are ready and willing and excited to talk about this because it's on their mind and it's something that they want to be discussing.